So, I was on Reddit the other day and I saw this post on r-Star Wars by Senor Justine. Can a lightsaber fry an egg? Today, I will answer this question. So, I'm going to answer whether it is possible first, and then whether it would be possible using only knowledge we can get from Star Wars media, and how you would fry an egg using this knowledge. First, let's work out how we are frying the egg. According to Ben on Alexa Answers, a lightsaber would be anywhere from 1800 degrees Celsius to 25,000 degrees Celsius, so we can't use a regular frying pan. Luckily, we can use Beskar, the Mandalorian metal which can resist the lightsaber blade, as we see in The Mandalorian. So for our first question, yes, it is possible to fry an egg using Beskar. You would just need a huge piece of Beskar, a thermometer, and a lot of eggs for all the trial and error you're going to do. However, I find the second point far more interesting. Looking at the fight between Din Djarin and Moff Gideon, we see the Beskar spear glow at some points. This is useful to us because it will allow us to measure the temperature of the Beskar at certain points in time. When a metal glows like this, it is said to be red hot. You may think that means that different metals require vastly different temperatures to become red hot. However, this is not the case. There is a rough temperature for each colour glow a metal can have when heated, as seen in this table.
The reason for this is quite complex, but I'll try to explain it simply.
Atoms contain shells, also known as energy levels, on which the electrons are. These electrons are able to move up and down shells. However, to move up a shell it requires energy. When an atom moves up a shell, this is called excitation. To move an electron up an energy level, it must be given energy. One way of doing this is heating an object, and so when the electron moves down a shell, it must release this energy. Electrons release this energy as light. The more heat you add, the more energy you give the electron, and so the more it will release on its way back down to its original shell. When it moves down to its original shell, it can do this by moving in one movement or several movements. For one movement, all of the energy is released at once. However, for several movements, the energy is released through multiple energy releases. In this equation, we can see that as energy increases, the wavelength of light emitted decreases. Here you can see a light spectrum. You can see that the wavelength increases from violet to red. Red light is the longest wavelength the human eye can see. Now, as we stated earlier, as energy increases, the wavelength decreases. When a metal is heated, it will emit light, just not visible light. However, when it is heated, electrons move up to higher shells, and the energy released increases and the wavelength of the light emitted decreases. This happens more and more as the object heats up, until the wavelengths are short enough to be seen and the object will glow red. As the object heats up even more, the electrons move up further and more wavelengths can be seen until violet light is reached. The reason the object doesn't glow violet is because the violet light released is mixed with all of the other colours released, forming white light. If you want to go into more detail, you can research energy levels. So, for this case, I'm going to assume that the rate of heat gain due to conduction and the rate of heat loss due to radiation is constant. Now, I know that this will most probably make my result inaccurate, but I'm looking at the colour glow of a Beskar spear, which has been CGI'd, most probably with no scientific thinking, and so I think this assumption is alright for our purposes. So, I calculated the heat loss was roughly 179.31 degrees Celsius per second, and the heat gain was roughly 625 degrees Celsius per second. To cook an egg, you roughly need a temperature of 144 degrees to 158 degrees. So, now I am going to teach you how to cook that egg with a lightsaber. First, heat the Beskar spear to this red colour here. This will take 0.8 seconds due to this being how long it took in The Mandalorian. We have to heat it this far first so we roughly know what temperature the Beskar is. Now you wait 2 seconds and place the egg on. Then tap the lightsaber on the Beskar for 0.024 seconds. Then wait 0.084 seconds. Keep doing this tapping and waiting for roughly 3 minutes, or until the egg looks cooked. This is a rough guide on how you would cook the egg. You would probably need a droid to do the timing, and this method would most likely give you a burnt egg, but I think it would work enough for the novelty of frying an egg with a lightsaber. So, can you cook an egg with a lightsaber using only knowledge from Star Wars media? Well, yes, but actually no.
I would say you can't because the timings are too precise and are probably a little too inaccurate.
To be honest, it would be cool to see Hacksmith Industries fry an egg with their lightsaber. Anyway, thanks for watching and please consider watching more of our videos. I'll leave some of our suggestions of where to go next in the information card in the top right of your screen. Bye!